Hi, this is Bill. I would like to begin by understanding how the ServiceNow GRC platform works and why it's such a game changer for you, for risk and compliance teams. At the heart of ServiceNow GRC is the concept of entities. As you can see on the top slide, it is targeted on the people, places, systems, suppliers, or processes that make up your organization. Since ServiceNow is a GRC platform, it portrays that it can manage any type of GRCs, hence establishing entities that can capture and manage through what is called the profile system. So why does it matter for you? Because managing risk and controls and audits isn't just about tracking tasks. So as you automate and understand where the risks are coming from, who or what is impacted, and how holistically different parts of your organization are all connected. So basically, entities and ServiceNow give you that picture or mapping. In ServiceNow, entities are brought together in one centralized, organized, and in a secure system. It's a single source of truth that will allow you to easily view how risk, controls, policies, and issues relates to the actual parts of your business or organization, whether it's a department, a place, a region, a supplier, a software application, and so on. So as you navigate on the left of this slide, you can see examples of entities that describe your organization structure. So under the entity type column, you will see business unit like corporate functions, department such as finance, region, for example, EMEA, country like Brazil. And as we move on the right, you see entities that relate to your operations and external relationships. Utilities like air conditioning, business applications such as SAP, services like help desk, processes, for instance, L1 procurement. The benefit for practitioners like you is vivid. ServiceNow entity and profile system helps you stay organized so you can focus on what matters most. It's all about reusability, meaning less manual work and greater consistency. You may be coming from an Excel spreadsheet and a Word document, which limits its scalability. So this system of entities supports everything from small teams to global operations. And it allows confidentiality, security, giving you confidence that the right people have access to the right information. The outcome is better visibility, strong traceability, and smarter decision making. You can quickly see where the risks basically exist, how they are being controlled, and what needs attention, all in a single ServiceNow GRC platform. So to see this in action, I'll walk you through a quick demo so you can see how this works in practice inside the GRC platform. Now, on this demo, you will be seeing the UI 16 view in ServiceNow. So for those of you who has seen first time the UI 16 view, what you see on the left, this is the application navigator. Since we are talking about entities, so we could basically search for entities, and you will see under audit management, policy and compliance, you will see the different entities or entity modules. By just typing in the keyword, the search results will come out. And on the right, as we basically click the all entities under audit, then the content frame on the right will basically list down all the records of entities in the ServiceNow GRC platform. So think of this view as a central place where all the important parts of your organization that you want to monitor are recorded in a single place and managed. Each row represents an entity profile. This could be anything like a business unit, a supplier, a banking division, or even a service. You can see examples like on the top left, you will see accounts payable, ACME Americas, and ACME banking and investments, to name a few. The system also shows key information at a glance. We have the name of the entity, the owner of the entity, so you always know who is responsible for managing in terms of risk and compliance. On the third column, you will see the class, which tells you what type of entity it is. For example, it is a company, a business service, or an organization. We also see the compliance score. This helps you quickly understand how well the entity is performing against the controls and requirements it's supposed to follow. For example, you can see most of these entities have a score of 0, which you would need attention. But one of them, like ACME Banking and Investments, has a compliance score of 67%. Finally, there's the appetite status to show whether the level of risk linked to that entity is within or outside of what the business has defined as acceptable. So as we navigate to the left, you will see ACME Banking and Investments is marked outside appetite, meaning its risk level is higher than what the organization is comfortable with. Meanwhile, ACME branch banking is within appetite, meaning it's operating within acceptable risk levels. What's powerful about this is that everything is in one place. As a practitioner in GRC, you don't have to dig through emails or spreadsheets. You can search, filter, and act on this data instantly, whether you're preparing for an audit, managing controls, or tracking down an issue. Now let us drill down to one of the records so you can visualize what is inside of each entity record. Let us do a search on one of the entities named SAP from the name. And as we do a search, let us drill down to one of the records named SAP Financial Accounting, which is owned by James and of type class business service. Now that we're looking inside the entity record for SAP Financial Accounting, let's break down what these tabs and related links mean and why they're valuable for GRC practitioners like you. Remember that this entity represents as a profile, a single point of truth for this critical business service. Everything tied to its risk, compliance, and control landscape is visible here. This is what helps you maintain oversight, ensure accountability, and drive proactive risk management. Now let's go through these areas. On the left, you have the activity journal. This is where you track changes and comments related to this profile. It shows you what have been updated, when, and also by whom. So it gives you complete traceability, accountability, and no more guessing who made changes or when. And this helps during audits or when you need to investigate actions. And as we move to the compliance tab, this is where compliance-related data for this entity is managed. You can tie specific standards, requirements, or regulatory mappings. The value is that it gives you immediate visibility into how well this entity is meeting its compliance obligations. It helps the practitioner see gaps and act on them. The fourth tab, which is risk roll-up and tolerance, this tab shows how risk scores roll up from related risk and how tolerance are set. It lets you define what level of risk is acceptable for this entity and see when it's exceeded. The value is clear risk posture, visibility, and quick action when risk levels go beyond what's acceptable. So as we move down, ServiceNow is a single data model, a single architecture, and a single platform. So in a single point of glass, you will be able to view the related information and its relevance to the entity profile. Now, if you look further down, you will see a set of tabs that bring the real power of the profile system into life. So on the left, the entity types shows what kind of entity this is. And in this case, it is type of business service. The value is classifying and helping you group, report, and manage similar entities together. So it's all about reusability. And that is what the technology is bringing you is helping you be able to organize and put everything together. And you have the upstream and downstream entities. These tabs show how this entity is correlated or connected to others. Upstream means what is the entity that it depends on. Downstream, then, what depends on it. This helps you understand dependencies and impacts, the value for the practitioner, where disruptions could spread, and where controls need to be applied. Downstream risk, this tab lists all the risks directly associated with this entity. And as I scroll down, it gives you a risk register at the entity level. The value is immediate insight into what could go wrong with this service and where you need to focus mitigation efforts. While on downstream controls, this captures controls the entity benefits from, even if they were set higher up in the organization. The value is understanding layered defenses without duplicating effort. Downstream engagements, these are audits or assessments linked to the entity. The value is audit readiness and easy access to related evidence and also findings. The downstream issues, these tabs list issues and tasks tied to this entity, showing where action is needed and what's being worked on. The value is operational transparency and accountability for follow-up. Policy exceptions, risk events, content references, risk assessments, evidence mapping, stakeholders. Each of these gives specific linkage to the entity's broader GRC ecosystem, where it is a policy exception, an actual risk event, documentation, or people accountable is all tied back here. So you as a practitioner has full visibility into a single place. So what this gives you as a GRC practitioner is complete traceability, accountability, and efficiency. You're not jumping between systems, emails, or spreadsheets. Every risk, control, issue, and task related to this business service is in a single point of glass, fully connected, helping you manage risk smarter and faster. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my next video.